Hello again, everyone. Here I am, Julie, coming at you again. We got another Saturday, a great one for you today. Welcome to We Can Do This. I appreciate you being here. If you're new to my channel, thank you so much for joining us. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below and hit that like button. I love those thumbs up. They're great. I welcome you to my channel, We Can Do This. And my channel is I am not a physician. I am not a doctor. I have no professional training. I am just someone who wants to try to help others based on my experiences that I've had in my past and try to bring them to you and do some research and maybe help you through some of the times that you're going through right now, or you know someone who is. That's my goal, is just to help someone. And I hope you all had a great week. I know I did. I've been off. I was off Thursday and Friday, and I can tell you it was the best time off I've had in a long time. It was great. And here we are on Saturday. Always loving the weekend, right? But I got to tell you about two new things I have that I don't know if you noticed or not, because I'm not seeing it from your end. I bought a webcam, and that is why I'm coming back to you live from my laptop. So I'm really excited to have the webcam so that you can see me a little wider, a little better. And I also got brand new Fitbit. I've had it for almost 2 weeks now, and I'm loving it. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that coming up. So once again, thank you so much for joining me. And please tell your friends and your family about our discussions. You know, if you feel the topic is something that could help them, please share it with them. I broadcast every Saturday at 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And if you can't get onto a live stream, please feel free to go on and watch the rerun. I put the link up on Facebook every week. And I would love so much to have you join us on our mission to help each other get through things. So, as you can see from the topic today, we are going to talk about understanding and overcoming fear of the unknown. Now, I know some people, they have no problem with the unknown. They face it head on, and they are almost exhilarated by it. You know, it's a total thrill for them. And then other people like me, they become absolutely petrified and frozen at the point of fear about the unexpected and the unknown. And that's me, like through and through me. Now, one thing I can say about the unknown and having to deal and think about the unknown is it may or may not be based on facts. You know, let's face it, your mind and your emotions can take you on places unknown. It can take you on a wild roller coaster ride. And sometimes you don't feel like you have control of that. But I'm here to tell you, you can do this. Because we can do this, right? So let's get started here. So let's start with when what you don't know, really can hurt you. And there is a word for the fear of the unknown, and it's called xenophobia. And it means being afraid of something you have no information on. It's the intolerance of uncertainty. And like I said, you can have people that embrace it and other people who want to run screaming into the night away from it. So when it does come to us, what are the most common symptoms of this particular type of phobia, this xenophobia? There can actually be effects on our body, not only our mind. You know, we can have a very fast heart rate. And you know, whenever you get excited or you get worried, you breathe faster. You know, so that makes sense. We have quick, shallow breathing. Our muscles tend to tense. You know, when we get nervous, we're doing this, feeling a weakness, and our blood glucose level spikes, if I could say that right. So if these types of symptoms that are having an effect on our body, if they're short-lived, you know, no big deal. You know, symptoms can, leave pretty quickly. No problem. But if you're having a constant fear, an outright fear of the unknown and the unexpected, it can actually lead to harm to your health in the long run. And none of us want that. We don't want that. And we tend to categorizing. That's a great word. And that means imagining the worst case scenarios. And I'm telling you, that's me through and through. I am the one that has a cup half empty. I never have a half cup full. And I am teased about it all the time because I'm a pessimist. And I am. I'm very much a pessimist. So there are, what causes our fear of the unknown? Okay. There are a couple things, like lack of predictability. We are very much creatures of habit. We love the known. We love to know what's going to happen next. What are we going to do an hour from now? What's our schedule for today? We all love that scheduling. We all love that habit we get into and we get comfortable with it. But if we have the unknown, and we all have the unknown in our lives, we just don't like to think about it. Information is a good thing. It's not a bad thing. The more informed you are, the better you can be ready and have all your facts straight before your mind takes control of you and starts rolling on that roller coaster and taking you to places you don't want to go. And that leads into lack of control. None of us like to feel like we're out of control. But in this world, unfortunately, we can only control what we do. We can't control what someone else does. And when we have a feeling that we can't control our situation, it makes us very uncomfortable. And the thing that can help that is we need to make a plan. And this goes along with having good facts and good information. We need to make a plan. And that plan needs to include what we are in control of, because we're never going to be able to change what we're not in control of. We need to concentrate on what we can and use that to make things better and to help ourselves. So what type of people? There are certain groups that are more prone to having this type of a fear grasp them, and more prone to feeling these feelings that can end up being very scary and take us to those dark places. So who are the extra vulnerable? Well, the first group, obviously, is going to be anxiety and fear disorders. Now, this is me. This is my group. I have anxiety like crazy, and I fully admit it. And it's not so much because of my home life. I have a great home life and I have great friends, but it really comes mostly from my work environment. And I think there's not anybody out there that can refute that. And okay, my friend Dan's on. Hi, Dan. How are ya? So he's saying, what's the difference between being uncertain and just plain scared? Being plain scared is something that literally grips the living daylights out of you. It paralyzes you. It gets you to the point where you are just unbelievably scared to the point of you can't move. Uncertainty is different in the sense that I think we're all uncertain about things. We can all be uncertain about things. I'm uncertain about what's going to happen tomorrow. I'm uncertain about what I'm going to eat tomorrow. I'm uncertain of where I'm going to go tomorrow. Okay, so uncertainty isn't as extreme as what just plain scared is. And that's an awesome question. Thank you so much, Dan. You're amazing. So back to where I was talking about, along with anxiety. Now, this isn't really a group within itself, is depression. Depression comes along with anxiety because fear comes from anxiety that goes along with depression. And I have both of these together. So this is a package deal. Whenever you have this fear of the unknown, you can be depressed and you can have the anxiety. And so it can be both. It doesn't have to be both, but it can be both. So the next group I want to talk about is people who are abusing certain adult beverages. And the reason that they do the adult beverages and they take take them is the fact that it numbs them to the uncertainty that they're feeling. It numbs them to reality. It numbs them to the feelings that they're having, that they're scared. So they want to get out of reality, and that's their choice, to get out of reality, and they can abuse these adult beverages. And so that's one group. Another group that can be prone to this. Another one is disordered eating. And people who have these types of disorders, they tend to be introverted. They're not great at being social. So they don't have people to talk to. They don't have people to express their feelings to. They don't have that ability to be social. So when you hold things inside, they build up. And I know at one point in my treatment in the past, I had all of my feelings built up over 24 years. And it literally became a powder keg. And how could it not? When you hold things in and you don't have people you can talk to, and especially if you're introverted, like you're saying here, you're going to hold things in, and it's just going to pile up and pile up. And that's not healthy. That's not healthy for anybody to do that and feel that way. The next one is kind of a funny one. And, whenever I was doing my research and I found this, I was kind of laughing. But it's true. And I never thought about it before because it's just something that comes naturally. So the thing that happens is our phones. You ever think about your phone? Yeah. We are on our phones all the time, right? We are on them day and night. And I can tell you, I forgot to take my phone to work this past week. I was dying all day long without my phone. I had no way to get it at work. And it's like, why do we act like that it's an appendage to our bodies? And because we just freak out whenever we don't have it. And I have to tell you, growing up, we didn't have cell phones. Cell phones were not a thing back then. There's still something newer, over the last 20 to 30 years. I didn't have a cell phone growing up, but now it's like, I can't live without it. None of us can live without it. We're looking at them day and night. But when we're looking at our phones, it's something that gives us a constant reassurance. In the long run, it can lower our tolerance to normal uncertainties. It can actually make us weaker in our response, to these situations. And I never really thought about that. But, these phones are such an important part of our lives right now. It can really do that since we spend so much time on them. And another group that we have are OCD. And I know some people who are OCD or have a degree of OCD, which is obsessive compulsive disorders. And typically there are 4 different types of OCD, and I know people with a couple of them. Now, the first one is ordering and arranging. Now, I know from what I've read that David Beckham, married to the Spice Girl, he has this type of OCD that he is under treatment for. And I know one story I read about him is where, say, they have magazines on the table. There always has to be a certain amount of magazines on the table. And there can't be an even or odd number, whatever it is. It has to be a certain amount of magazines. They have to be spaced accordingly. They have to be certain inches, like from the edge of the table. And he's constantly ordering and arranging them. He's obsessed with that. So that's his way of doing his OCD. Then there's another one of checking and rechecking. And I can speak from experience on that because I had that growing up with my clock and my curling iron. When I would go to work or even school every day, I would check the curling iron 10 to 15 times before I'd even leave the house just to make sure it was unplugged. I was just obsessed with making sure it was unplugged. So I just kept looking at it and going back, and then I try to leave and then I go back again. So I can relate to that one. The other one is washing and avoiding contamination, those two together. Now, I think we all know Howie Mandel, very famous, seems like a great guy. He has this type of OCD. He constantly has this feeling. He wants to wash everything. Germs just absolutely terrify him. He's constantly washing doorknobs and tabletops and chairs and whatever he can get his hands on. So being that he's in the entertainment industry, it's really challenging for him, but he's done certain things and he's going through therapy to help him deal with that. But he also, we all know he asks guests, they just fist pump. They don't do the handshaking thing. And a fist bump is good. I mean, we've all done it, right? We all do that fist pumping thing. It's cool. So these are other types of people, who are vulnerable to having this fear just grip them. Another one is hoarding. And, I think to some point, a lot of people don't understand hoarding and they almost make fun of it, which isn't fair because it really is a disease. And these people who hoard, they are just compelled to hold on to these possessions. Doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter how old it is, but it's their idea of gaining control and security in their lives. And, we've all seen the pictures and the shows of people who either have like the path in rooms just to still go in the room, but get around the room. And then there are some rooms that they've just put so much trash in that they haven't been in years. That is very much a state where that's the one thing that they feel like they can control in their lives. And it's their sense of security. And it's one thing that's really hard for them to break. It's scary. It's very scary for them. So these are all the groups. So some of the groups that are more vulnerable to being scared of the unexpected and the unknown. So how can we overcome fear? How can we hit it better? So the first thing we can do is question our assumptions. Are our beliefs real? Or are we making things up? Like I said earlier, are we going and just thinking about the worst case scenario? And is that what's hindering us? Be realistic. What are you thinking about? Is it a fact or is it a fairy tale? You need to identify that. Keep it real. Then do your research. Be informed. Base your feelings and your emotions on facts, not your feelings. You can become more focused when you do this. And stay grounded in the here and the now. And that's hard to do because it means to stay grounded in reality. But I'm gonna say something that we've talked about several different times on this channel before. Don't take big steps. It's too overwhelming. Take baby steps. Take little steps to move forward. Use what you can that is in your control. Make a plan. And in that plan, use the things that you can control. Don't worry or include things that you can't control. That's not going to be healthy and it's not going to work. Like I said, keep it real and manage your stress with a healthy lifestyle. And this is what I'm doing right now. And I told you I was going to bring it up again. There's the Fitbit. Had it 2 weeks. And I can tell you, I've learned something about myself in the last 2 weeks just from having this. I am much more cognizant of needing to get up and move. I actually have an alarm set on my clock where it goes off every hour and it says, you need to move, move it, move it, move it. So I do. And I get up, even if it just means I go to my receiving department, I walk around the building a little bit, I go outside, it doesn't matter. Get up and move. And it doesn't have to be moving for like an hour at a time. Just moving during the day can help. Keep that blood flowing. Self-care is vital for all of us. Get plenty of rest. And that's another thing I've learned. A new piece of information here. I learned that the stress I'm having during the week is really playing havoc with my sleep, and it's really affecting me. And I never realized it till now because I'm seeing it in black and white right here. I learned that during the week, I can go to bed for eight and a half hours, and I get 6 good hours of sleep. Now on the weekends, I sleep longer. And I'm finding when I'm sleeping longer, I get better sleep and many more hours of better sleep. So I know that I'm going to have to deal with my stress. And I got to figure it out. Only you can figure out your own stress. And I'm going to, because I'm trying to do some things to help myself. I want to be healthy. I want to be able to take care of me because I can't take care of anybody else unless I do, right? And finally, we need to talk to someone we can trust. Now, that doesn't mean it has to be a family member or a friend. And I have preached this on this channel, and I'm going to continue to preach it because it is so vital and so important. Talk to a professional if you need to. It is very important to do that. If you feel that a friend or a family member can help you, that's fine. By all means, reach out and do that. But if you feel you're in a place where it's not going to be enough and it's too extreme for you to handle on your own, reach out to a therapist. Reach out to a psychotherapist. Reach out to a psychiatrist. Reach out to your PCP. Reach out to someone who's professionally trained to help you get through these tough times. I know I've done it. You know, my friend Dan, who's been on the channel, he's been a therapist for many years. People like him who are professionally trained, that's what they're trained to do. They're trained to help you through these hard times. And they can help you see things clearly when you can't. Because let's face it, whenever you're upset or if your mind is going into a dark place and your emotions have control of you, you know, you need someone else to see clearly for you. And there's no shame in that. It's absolutely something great that you can do for yourself and for those around you. It's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. So let's sum up. So what have we talked about today? So let's say, okay, number one, make a control plan and include in that plan things that you can control. Don't worry about those that you can't. Number two, stay grounded, keep it real. Don't let your emotions and your thoughts get the best of you and take you to a place that is not based in reality. 3, talk to anyone that you feel is trustworthy, especially a professional. Absolutely do. Number 4, keep your body healthy. You only have one you. It's vital. If you take care of yourself, you can help take care of those around you, your loved ones. And I promise you, you're going to feel a whole lot better to deal with those unexpected and unknown circumstances whenever you're healthy yourself. And I want to tell a story now because in my teaser last week, I promised a story. And it has to do with the unknown. And it's a good story, though. And I have a point to telling you this story. So a couple weeks ago, I was sitting on my couch. And I got a text message on my phone. And I looked at my phone and the text message said, "Hi, Amy. When am I getting my yoga mat?" Well, number one, I'm not Amy. And number 2, I don't do yoga. And usually I just, text back something like wrong number. But I was kind of in a fun mood that night. So I just texted back and I said, "Who's Amy?" So then they texted back and said, "I'm so sorry." They were very kind and very nice. "I'm so sorry. I dialed the wrong number. Please forgive me for making the error." And I texted back, "No worries. Everybody makes mistakes. Have a great rest of your evening and a great weekend." So I thought that was the end of it, and it was cute. It was a cute moment. So the next thing I know, I get another text message and it said, "You sound very nice. What is your name?" And I said, "Julie." And then I said, "What is your name?" And she said, "Olivia." And I said, "Where do you live?" Or she says, "Where do you live?" And I said, "Western Pennsylvania." "Where do you live?" And she said, "Toronto." And since that day, we have kept in contact and we go back and forth, even if it's just something small every day. We wish each other a good morning, good evening, great night's sleep, or whatever. But I have to tell you something very humbling happened to me a couple days ago. And she is from Japan, which excites me very much because I've watched shows on the food in Japan, and I know that they are very polite, wonderful people, and looks like they have great food, which I'm totally into. But she reached out to me, and she said, "I'm very upset today. There was an earthquake centered over my hometown." And she said, "My parents are fine." But she said, "I'm still concerned and I'm overwhelmed." And she just felt she needed to reach out to me to talk to me about it. Now, this is the first time it's ever happened. And I was very humbled by that. I was very at peace with it, that someone was blessed me enough to reach out to me about how they were feeling and needed support. So that's what I'm about. So I reached back out to her and I told her, I heard about the earthquake in Japan. I'm very happy and relieved to hear that your parents are fine. I understand how you feel being so far away from home, but you need to remember to take care of yourself, get plenty of rest, and remember that it's okay to feel the way you do, but it's also good to take care of yourself so that you can be good and there for others as well. I got a very kind response back. But I wanted to make a point. That's kind of why I decided to do this video today about the unexpected and the unknown. The unexpected and the unknown do not have to be something negative. It can definitely be something unexpected and positive. I didn't expect this. It was something that happened by chance. And out of an unexpected moment, I have a new friend in a different country with a different background, ethnicity, and I find that very intriguing and very exciting. And she's learned who I am now. So I got a new friend a couple weeks ago. So remember, the unexpected is not always a bad thing. It's not always negative. It's scary, but it's not a bad thing. Try to remember that. It can be good things too. So with that being said, along with, once again, the reminder to subscribe, give me a thumbs up, I want to give you my teaser for next week. And what I'm going to talk about next week is being a mentor. I am actually finding myself in that position right now of being a mentor to some of the younger people at our facility. And I am quite enjoying. I'm enjoying this place in my life, and I'm really loving being able to be there to guide, younger generations, and I find it very rewarding. So we're going to talk about it next week. I'm looking forward to it, and I hope you are too. So with that being said, thank you for joining me this week. I'm always very honored and very blessed that you join me. I'm always very excited to do my live streams for you, and I truly hope that they are reaching your hearts and are helping you or your family member or friend in some way, shape, or form, and pass the word along to whoever your friends and your family are. I would love to have everybody subscribe and join me. And we're doing this together, right? This isn't just me sitting here talking. This is about reaching out to each other and supporting each other, because these times are hard. They're a challenge for us all, but we can do this, right? Which reminds me, got to do the ending. I got to do it. So here we go. We can do this. We got this. I can and I will. So will you, my friend. Thank you so much again. Have a great week next week. Always stay safe. And please, please, please join me again next Saturday, 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And if you can't join me then, please watch the rerun. I appreciate everything that everybody does. And once again, take care, my friends. Bye-bye.